Yo, what is up everybody? It is Drew back again with another video, and in this one I'm going to be showing you how to sound like the Trapsoul Bryson Tiller. If you don't know, 3 weeks ago we did the Bryson Tiller where he did whatever she wants. So it's like the I'm gonna take a booty in, twirl down and let her pick up. Yeah, that one. And in the comments of that video you guys wanted to also hear the Trapsoul version of Bryson Tiller, so let's get into it. So as always, before we get into this preset, I just want to let you guys know that this preset is 100% free and the link is going to be in the description below. With that being said, let's get into our first plugin of the chain.
Died in the drop, switching lanes, and that thing so fire, baby, no propane. Got good, girl, can I be frank? To keep it 100, girl, I ain't no saint.
Now, I've seen a couple of comments in my past videos where you guys were asking, oh, I don't have Autotune, what should I use? So that's why I use Picture in this, because it comes with FL Studio. So those of you on FL Studio can just use this, and it worked pretty well with these vocals. So Picture and Autotune are the same thing, they work the same. All you're gonna wanna do is change the key to the key of your beat like normal, and then we're gonna adjust the speed to in between fast and medium. If you could sing a little bit better, you might just have it on medium to slow. It doesn't have as much customization as Autotune, but it works. So that's what we use for our Autotune in this preset. Next up, we're gonna go into our first EQ. All right, so for this first EQ, what we did is we started with the high pass at all the way up to 144 hertz. Then next up, we're gonna boost to 15 hertz, and we just boosted it up 1.2 decibels. After that, at the 700 hertz range, we boosted that up 1.2 decibels because going into the compressor, it took a little bit of that out. So we just boosted that up 1.2 decibels just to make up for that before we go into the compressor. Then in the high mid range, the 2000 hertz, we boosted it up 1.3 decibels. Then we're gonna make a big boost at the 7000 hertz range, and we're gonna boost that up 5.4 decibels. The reason we did this as a band pass instead of a high shelf is because his vocal wasn't as open sounding, which the high pass would create a more open sound, and it still had that nice shiny top end. So at the 7000 hertz range, we boosted that up 5.4 decibels. And then we are gonna still boost up the high shelf a little bit, 2.3 decibels. But yeah, that's the first EQ. Now we're gonna head into the compressor, the classic fruity compressor. We're gonna start with the threshold at -25, 15 millisecond attack, 87 on the release, 4:1 ratio, 7.9 on the gain, and the medium type. And it's just gonna squash down that vocal a lot so it's nice and even throughout the performance. All right, so now I'm gonna show you what it sounds like with the compressor and without it. So we're gonna start without, and then we're gonna turn it on.
Don't play with her, don't be dishonest.
Now with.
Don't play with her, don't be dishonest.
So as you can tell with that compressor, it just pushed the vocal a little bit more up front. Then we're gonna go into our next compressor, which is also a fruity compressor, but we're gonna do it a little bit different. We're gonna do a -16.1 on the threshold, 2.1 to 1 on the ratio, 3.2 on the gain, 31 on the attack, 200 on the release in the vintage type. It's gonna be a little bit slower on that attack and release, and this is gonna be that final level. It's gonna bring the vocal up a little bit more in volume, and it's just gonna sound good. So let me show you what it sounds like with and without it.
Don't play with her, don't be dishonest.
And then with.
Don't play with her, don't be dishonest.
Then we're gonna go into our next EQ, which is our final EQ, and this one is a little bit crazier. So I'm gonna show you what we did with this. So for this EQ, we're gonna start off at the 229 hertz range, and we're just gonna take out 0.6 decibels of that, very slight movement. But then we're gonna move on to the mids. So for this, we took out 2.3 decibels at the 600 hertz range. Then at the 1083 hertz range, we took out 2.5 decibels in there. And then at the 1800 hertz range, we took out 1.7 decibels there as well. After that, we're gonna boost up the 4300 hertz range by about 6 decibels. And this is gonna bring a little bit more presence into the vocal. So then we opened it up with this high shelf at 11,000 hertz, and we boosted that up a good amount with 7.7 decibels. And this is gonna brighten the vocal up a lot more and make it sound a little bit more clear. So let me show you what it sounds like without and then with the EQ.
Don't play with her, don't be dishonest. Don't play with her, don't be dishonest.
So as you can hear, the vocal brightened up a lot. It's also becoming a little bit harsh. So that's going to move us into our next thing, which is the de-esser. This plugin is completely free, so I'm going to leave a link down in the description. My favorite de-esser plugin, and it's pretty easy to set up. All you got to do is turn this knob until you get what you like. You can also hear what you're taking out, so I'm going to show you what frequencies are being taken out. So as you can hear a little bit of that crackle and pop kind of weird sound, and also you can hear the S's being taken down a lot, and that's just gonna clean up the high end of the vocal, make it sound a little bit less harsh. So yeah, that's pretty simple. Then we're gonna move into the fruity chorus. Now this is pretty easy to set up. I just dragged the fruity chorus plugin stock into the chain, and then all I did with this was turn the mix down to 20%, and it's just gonna widen out the vocals a little bit and give it a little bit more texture. So I'm gonna show you what it sounds like with and without it.
I want you bad as ever. Don't let me just let up. I wanna give you better.
And then we're gonna show you with it.
I want you bad as ever. Don't let me just let up. I wanna give you better.
So as you can hear, it's kind of like a doubler effect, and it widens out the vocal a little bit just to give it some texture, and that's gonna give you a nice sound with the vocal. Last up in the chain, we're gonna go with the Fruity Reverb 2. Now with this, pretty simple. Pre-delay at 7 milliseconds. I moved the high cut to 1.9 kilohertz, the low cut at 400 hertz, size all the way up, the decay at 3.2 seconds, and then the wet at 45%, dry at 100, and the early reflections at 50%. And then we turn down the mix knob to 48%. So as always, the reverb is just gonna add a little bit of texture to the vocal, make it sound like it's in a nice open space. So let me show you what it sounds like with and without it.
I want you bad as ever. Don't let me just let up. I want you bad as ever. Don't let me just let up. I wanna give you better.
So as you can hear, it adds a little bit in between the vocal performance, and it just sounds like it's in a nice space. So yeah, that's it for the vocal chain. Now I'm gonna show you what it sounds like all together in the beat. So let's do it.
Somebody gotta step up. I'm that somebody, so I'm next up. Be damned if I let them catch up. It's easy to see that you're fed up. I am on a whole nother level. Girl, they only you over cause you let them. Girl, I guess you didn't know any better. Girl, that man didn't show any efforts. Do all I can just to show you you're special. Certain it's your love that holds me together. Lately you say you be killing the vibe. Gotta be sick of this guy. Put up the skirt, get in the right. Left hand is staring, the other is gripping your thigh. Light up a split and get high. Shawty, you deserve what you've been missing. Looking in, I'm thinking he must be tripping. Play this song for him, turn this song down. Down.
But yeah, that is it for this preset. As you can see, pretty simple to record, and just like always, I hope this helps you guys out in your own song. With that being said, make sure you guys comment who you want to hear next, and I'm doing these presets for free, so it doesn't hurt just to give it a shot. Comment who you want to hear next, and I will try to get to it in my next video. But thank you guys so much for watching. It means a lot. If you guys haven't already, make sure you hit that like button, that subscribe button, and stay tuned for future videos. But yeah, peace out.